Objective 7. Graph an inequality and a compound inequality on a number line. Graphing inequalities on a number line. If you can be equal to the number, then use a closed circle or a bracket. If you cannot be equal to the number, then use an open circle or a parenthesis. For interval notation, if you can be equal to the number, then use a bracket. If you cannot be equal to the number, then use a parenthesis. If on the number line you are going to the left forever, then use a negative infinity in interval notation. If on the number line you are going to the right forever, then you're going to use a positive infinity in interval notation. You always use parentheses when you have negative infinity or positive infinity. So let's take a look at, in words, what the inequality would look like, what would it look like when it's graphed in the interval notation. Numbers greater than 8. The inequality would be x is greater than 8. The graph would have an open circle at 8 and going towards the right. In the interval notation would have a parenthesis 8, comma, positive infinity with a parenthesis. Next example, numbers greater than or equal to 6. The inequality would be x greater than or equal to 6. The graph would have a closed dot at 6 and it would be shading to the right. So we'd have a bracket 6 because it's including 6, comma, positive infinity with a parenthesis. Numbers less than or equal to 4. The inequality would be x is less than or equal to 4. So we'd have a closed dot at 4 and then it's shading everything to the left. So then we start out at parenthesis negative infinity, comma 4 with a bracket since we're including the 4. Numbers less than negative 3. X is less than negative 3. So we'd have an open circle at negative 3 and everything is shading to the left. So we have negative parenthesis negative infinity, comma negative 3 with a parenthesis. Numbers between 2 and 4. That means x is in between 2 and 4. So we have an open circle at 2, an open circle at 4, and then we're including everything in it. But we're not including the values of 2 and 4. So that's why we're having parentheses. So we have parentheses 2, comma 4 parentheses. Now when we have numbers between 2 and 4 in the word inclusive, that means x is in between 2 and 4, including 2 and 4. So we're going to close the circle at 2 and close the circle at 4 and everything in between. So we have bracket 2, comma 4 with a bracket. Numbers between negative 3 and 6 as well as 6. So that means we have the numbers x is in between negative 3 and 6 and we're including the value of 6. So we have an open circle at 3 with the closed circle at 6 and everything in between. So it's parentheses negative 3, comma 6 with a bracket. The numbers between negative 6 and 2 as well as negative 7. So that means the numbers between x is negative 7, including 7, and 2. So negative 7 has a closed circle. Positive 2 has an open circle and all the numbers in between. So we have a bracket, negative 7, comma 2.